Hi everyone, welcome to my channel Advice to Think Twice. My name is Monica and I am here today with a video for the Tarot Tutorials section, Introduction to Tarot. So I wanted to talk to you about the Major Arcana cards. So we're going to go through each card. I'm going to tell you a little bit about each card, and I'm also going to link my blog post on this in the description box below. So what I did there is something similar. Keywords, general meanings, and then for work, for love, advice, reverse, that sort of thing. So I'm not really looking at that now, so I think these two will complement each other, the video and the information I give in the video and the information I put out on the blog. Okay, so hopefully everyone's doing really well. Okay, and let's just get started here. So in the Major Arcana, we've got the Fool is the first card, the World is the last card. Okay, the World is number 21, but since the Fool is number 0, it's 22 cards here. Okay, and there's also a video on tarot and astrology where I talk about the astrological connections when it comes to the Major Arcana cards, also in the Tarot Tutorials playlist. Okay, so first card in a deck, we have the Fool. Now, some keywords associated with the Fool are fresh start, new beginning, clean slate, and take a chance. Okay. Now, reverse, you might get, being foolish, being hasty, not thinking things through, irresponsible, flaky, that sort of energy. In work, this could talk about a brand new job. It could talk about a brand new career altogether. It could also be, taking a chance on something that you believe in very strongly. The Fool doesn't have it all figured out, but his intuition is guiding him very strongly. Okay, so even though he does not have a plan, which is the case with the Fool usually, and to other people he may seem foolish because they don't see what he sees, he knows exactly where he's going. Okay, he knows that if he takes a step in one direction, he's going to get someplace good. So he doesn't have an actual plan laid out, but he's going by what his heart is telling him, what his intuition is telling him. Okay, and the Fool is very much a pick up and go type of energy, right? So you can see he doesn't have any bags with him or anything, just that little satchel there, some say full of his dream or that particular dream that he's following. Okay, that's all he needs. And then we have that rose there, the white rose, symbolizing purity of thought, of intention, and clean slates, fresh starts. Okay, with the Fool, it does always say take a chance. You're encouraged to take a chance. Okay, to go forward, to take a leap of faith. That's usually what you hear when the Fool comes up. Okay, so it can be moving, it can be changing jobs, changing careers, leaving a relationship, or jumping into a relationship wholeheartedly. Okay, whatever the situation is, it is a fresh start, a complete new beginning, on something that really is important to you, that really matters to you, and you are just kind of jumping on it. Okay, with the energy of the Fool. That's what this talks about. You want to be careful with him if you see him in a love reading, because it usually talks about someone who's not willing to commit. Okay, it might come up reverse if that's the case, but not all the time. So just be mindful of the other cards in a reading, but usually it is someone who is there, but they can pick up and go if they need to. Okay, so someone who's kind of present but not really invested. Okay, with the energy of the Fool here. Then we have the Magician. So with the Magician, this is a number 1. So again, new beginnings. The Fool, with being number 0, is completely untapped potential. It can be anything. Clean slate, that's why it says clean slate. The Magician as a number 1 means we've at least set the intention for something. Okay, we're starting a process, but we've set the intention for it. The Magician, with the Magician, you're going to hear has as above, so below. That means we're manifesting. Okay, it's a very powerful manifestation card. In terms of a reading, it can talk about an important conversation, interview, negotiation, presentation, the beginning of a relationship you may have manifested, with this energy, it is a new beginning where you are putting everything together. Okay, so see how he has all the tools on the table, that's all the different suits. That means you have all the resources you need to get going with it. Okay, it can also be about honesty, where you're putting it all on the table. It will be different depending on the other cards in the reading and the context, okay, the question that you're asking. But with the Magician, it is about communication and manifestation. It is also about courage, confidence, charisma. Okay, with the Magician, with let's say work, this can be that important conversation, that negotiation or a presentation where you're kind of putting something on the table for someone, you're presenting someone with something, pitching something. Okay, that can also be the case. Starting your own business. It could be where you have this idea, the essence of the card is, you have this idea, you have this intention, and it's like you're looking at all your resources, everything you have to work with to make this happen for yourself. Okay, it's very much a confident energy towards manifesting what you want. Now with the Magician, when he does come up reverse, he can be seen as a trickster, he can be seen as a deceitful person, a manipulator, someone who, you know, portrays to be something but is actually something else. Okay, someone who's playing a role with this energy as well. So just some things to be mindful of there. You can see the infinity symbol above his head there. Now that means he's thinking long term. He's got perspective. So whatever it is that we are starting now, even if it is just a conversation, the intention behind it is very powerful. It is a strong idea, a strong vision, a strong dream, and most likely if we continue to invest in it, it will be something that is coming into our lives. Okay, we're drawing it into our lives, we're manifesting it with this energy. Okay, with the Magician. Then we have the High Priestess, our number 2. Now the High Priestess is all about balance, duality, intuition, secrets, the moon energy. It can talk about, you know, someone who is reserved, someone who is an introvert, someone who is very shy or very quiet, okay, but very, very wise. In terms of general meaning, this can talk about research, study, taking time to yourself, solitary, you know, time or activities, a focus on your spirituality with this energy, you know, prayer, meditation, working with crystals, anything esoteric, that sort of energy there. It could also be, for example, confidential information, so secrets in a personal sense, but also with work. So it could be, you know, on the job training. It could be working in a profession that deals with confidential information. In love with the High Priestess, it's a little tricky, but basically the High Priestess is someone who keeps herself to herself. So when you see the High Priestess in a love reading, usually talks about someone who either is not interested, someone who is just keeping a lot of secrets, someone who I don't know, the love might be platonic or unrequited, that sort of situation. Okay, with the High Priestess, because it's someone who's closed off. Okay, they keep themselves to themselves, they are not opening up with this energy. In terms of advice, the High Priestess would always tell you to listen to your intuition, and also to get more information, to clarify things, to get to the bottom of things, to get to the truth of things, to research, okay, to study, as well as to rely on your spirituality for answers, for guidance. If the High Priestess is showing up in reverse, it could be someone who is overly expressive. It could be someone who is sharing someone else's secrets. It could be someone who cannot be trusted. Okay, it could be someone who's being a little foolish, not taking into account their own wisdom or their own intuition. Okay, with the High Priestess here. Then we have the Empress. And again, this is just some meanings to kind of get you going with the cards, but continue to work with the cards, practice with the cards. You're going to develop your own meanings for them. As I say, practice, 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 and bring it back to the context, bring it back to the question that you're asking, okay, to get clear messages from the cards. So with the Empress, this is a number 3. So basically what we're setting the intention of with the Magician and what we are studying and working towards with the High Priestess, it now becomes something real, something concrete, something that is manifested in our day-to-day life. Okay, the Empress here does talk about growth, expansion, comfort. Usually with the Empress you hear pregnancy or giving birth. That could be actually giving birth or giving birth to something new, a new idea, a new place, a new relationship, whatever the case may be. It is a card of motherhood, definitely. It's a really good card to see, basically. In terms of work, you can talk about extra income. Things get more comfortable, things get easier, more responsibility, but more perks, so it's worth it. So this is a very relaxed, selective type of energy. So you're in a place where you get to choose who you work with and what you do and when you do. Okay, it's a very much manager, advanced type of energy. Okay, when it comes to work, and of course expansion, growth, promotion, money. And it could also be your own business and you're calling the shots. That's why you show up as the Empress. For love, the Empress represents love. It is Venus. So we can talk about this new relationship that's starting, a relationship that's blossoming, taking to the next level. Again, pregnancy, family, buying a house, investing in a house, decorating. Could be, changing your looks, your wardrobe, that sort of energy, making things more comfortable. In terms of the Empress in the reverse, now this can be someone who is vain. It can be someone who, and same thing with the High Priestess in the reverse. Okay, it can be someone who's very vain and shallow, focused on the superficial things. With the Empress, it's focused on the material things in particular. So someone who's too focused on money, power, status, their looks. Okay, and someone who's not very nurturing, or someone who makes you earn their nurturing or earn their affection with material things. Okay, that can also be the case here with the Empress in reverse. And of course, mother energy. So issues with mother, support from the mother, depends on the situation. Then we have the Emperor. Now the energy of the Emperor is that of stability. So what we were starting to manifest with the Empress is now stable. We are developing rules for it, regulations. So with the Emperor, you always see authority figures, rules, regulations, process, stability, father figure, father energy. The Emperor is a protector. If he shows up in your reading, it can be an older individual, usually shows up as a male, but again, it just depends on the reading that you're doing. A protector, a guide, a teacher, someone you go to for answers, someone you go to for solutions. The Emperor is someone who has power, who has a lot of responsibility, who has important decisions to make, and they have to consider everyone around him. They have to consider what's best when making his decision. He is very stable in his decision. Okay, always keeps his word. In terms of an individual, it can be an older male. It can be someone who is very determined. The Emperor usually does not take no for an answer, regardless of the context that this comes up in. Okay. In the reverse, the Emperor can be someone who is too stubborn, self-absorbed, my way or the highway, not diplomatic in the least. Issues with father, okay, and father figures with this energy, issues with authority, issues with unfair or corrupt or unjust authority figures also coming up here. And that stability, when it's in reverse, it can turn into rigidity, okay, of mind or circumstance, okay, with the Emperor in reverse. And his determination, if it's in the reverse, can turn into being just impossible, headstrong, and does not back down even if they know they're going in the wrong direction. Okay. So with the Hierophant, the Hierophant here talks about some of the keywords you hear with the Hierophant are school, education, religion, family, traditions, commitment, marriage, okay, conforming. Those are some of the keywords you get with the Hierophant. It's a card of initiation. It's a card of something being made formal, something being made official, receiving the keys to something, being, you know, in terms of a door being open to you. With the energy of the Hierophant, it can talk about school, education, going back to school, starting school. It can talk about joining a very big company. Usually it talks about corporations or family-owned businesses, or something that's been around forever, has a very set way of doing things, or a very strong company culture. It can talk about the clergy, religion, faith, marriage, with this energy here, very much so. Family is important when the Hierophant shows up, and tradition, okay? And we have to follow the process, we have to follow the rules, we have to conform, and we have to make sure that we do what we're told. In the reverse, the Hierophant can talk about pressure from family, conforming taken to extreme, where we are no longer thinking about what's right or wrong for ourselves. We just do what we're told without thinking. Okay, so blind faith, cults, cult mentality, that sort of thing. It can be corruption, it can be just a lot of red tape, bureaucracy, nepotism, with this energy here, okay, of the Hierophant. It's usually talks about someone in a position of power who is using it for all the wrong reasons, sorry, okay, with the Hierophant. And of course it can just kind of flip over the usual meanings of the card, make them the opposite, okay, if it's in reverse, or accentuate them to an extreme or another, okay. Then we have the Lovers. Now with the Lovers, what you're going to hear, keywords are choice, love, temptation. So it can show up when, you know, the question is about love, or a love relationship, about a commitment. It's usually about a head or a heart decision. So basically you've got two options. One's the safe bet, and the other is not so safe, but it's where your heart is, okay? So it's a choice between the right thing to do according to, I don't know, other people's society, the rules, whatever the case may be, and then something that would be seen as a very risky move, or even the wrong thing to do, but that's what you're tempted to do. That's where your heart is, okay? With the Lovers, when it shows up in a reading, it can tell you, choose what your heart is telling you. Follow your heart, make your choices based on what would truly make you happy. Take a chance on your heart's desire, okay, on your love or lover, whatever the case may be. It can sometimes talk about third-party situations or choices with love, in that kind of a way. It can talk about commitments and partnerships and choices about partnerships with work as well, not only with love. It's just about the commitment, okay, with the Lovers there. When it's showing up in the reverse, the Lovers can talk about just decisions that are not very smart, decisions that we're not thinking through, we're being too impulsive, we're just going for the temptation, we're not interested about the consequences, unwise choices, affairs, third-party situations, that sort of thing, okay, can come up. Then we have the Chariot. So with the Chariot, this is very much a card about victory, breaking through, overcoming obstacles. Okay, it's a very much a success type of energy. What you're also going to hear with the Chariot is focus, determination. Keep your eye on the prize. Okay, so in a work reading, this can be promotion. This is definitely advancement in career in whichever way it applies. It can also indicate travel, moving in some cases, with it being a Major Arcana card. This can be things moving at great speed, okay, overcoming an obstacle, that sort of energy, getting the green light. In terms of a love situation, it just depends on the context, the other cards, and your question. Sometimes it can show up as three people involved because you got three figures in the card, but usually it talks about someone who takes you by surprise, someone who just kind of rushes into your life or rushes out of your life, someone who is very career driven, someone who's very focused and they know what they want. So if they're telling you they want you, then they know what they want. That sort of energy, okay, with the Chariot. And it can also sometimes talk about keeping the balance, because he has to rein in these two figures, the two Sphinx figures, to make sure that they go in the right direction. Okay, so it is very much a card about leadership, focus, determination, and balance. When it shows up in the reverse, it can talk about delays with travel, issues with travel with your car, or any means of transportation. It can talk about someone behaving recklessly, impulsively, someone who can be self-sabotaging with this energy. It can talk about a delayed victory or just not happening at all, okay, with the Chariot reverse. And also it can be being overwhelmed and losing control, okay, because there's also an element of control with the Chariot. Then we have the Strength card. So with the Strength card here, this is quiet strength, this is inner strength. This is not the card to go out and rule the world. The Chariot is rather the card to go out and rule the world. And actually there's a military aspect to the Chariot as well, as much as there was for the Emperor, okay, there's a military connection. With the Strength card though, this is more inner strength, this is quiet strength. This is where I take a stand with grace, with elegance, and I'm not backing down. I stick to my standards, I stick to my principles. I lead with grace, I temper myself. Because with the Strength card, if you can see, she's kind of tempering that lion. But she's so calm and so peaceful that that is her strength. She is able to temper the beast, to calm the beast down, with her kindness and gentle nature and grace. Okay, that's why she's wearing all white. It's all about purity of thought, of intention, of heart. And we also have the infinity symbol there again above her head. So this is, in terms of advice, I would say, think about the consequences, take a deep breath, think before you speak, try to control your temper, don't let it control you. It is a card that talks about, you know, keep going, or hold your ground, or at least, you know, don't change course now, don't give up now. It's a little bit of kind of going against your impulses, okay? So it's being aware of the impulse and controlling it, because we're thinking in perspective and we're trying to do the right thing here. In terms of a person, usually which helps to indicate a Leo, Sun, Moon, or Rising. Again, check the astrology video. I'm not going to go into that too much. It can be someone we go to for answers. It can be someone who helps us calm down and helps us clear our heads and so on and so forth. In the reverse, of course, the Strength card can mean physical strength as well. So getting your strength back, your health back, a strong position in negotiation, a strong position within a relationship, a strong relationship. Again, it just depends on the context and the other cards, but it does bring strength, stability, and grace, okay, into the situation. In the reverse, again, it is someone who is ruled by their emotions. It is someone who is ruled by their temper, by their ego, too proud, not thinking about the consequences. They want to win at all costs. Someone who is very, very loud and in your face. Someone who is looking for a fight, looking for a conflict. Someone who is trying to bully us, someone who's trying to intimidate us, or a situation that's trying to intimidate us or makes us feel like we do not have the power, we do not have the strength to deal with it, okay? With the Hermit is a card that talks about going within, spending time alone. It is a card of study, research, getting information, looking for answers, okay? That's why he's got the lamp there. And he's venturing off on his own to make up his own mind, to come up with his own ideas, to draw his own conclusions, to get to the truth of things, okay? He's walking his own path. It is a spiritual card in the sense that he is only, he's following the light, okay? The light is guiding him, but he can only see one step at a time. So he has to go on faith with the energy here. This can talk about an expert, a guide, a teacher, a mentor. someone we go to for clarity, for answers, okay, an expert in their field, that sort of energy. It is a card that asks us to go within to find the answers, or to study, to research, to get to the bottom of things, to look for the facts, to go off and make our own minds, okay, not to be influenced by what other people are saying, and so on and so forth. Usually it shows up when we are withdrawing from a situation, or someone is withdrawing from a situation. That could be a relationship, or business partnership, or anything like that, okay. Someone's going within, someone's withdrawing, someone is detaching. It's a very much a solitary type of energy here with the Hermit. It is a card of searching. So searching for answers, searching for a partner, searching for a job, searching for a solution. And then taking it further, the guidance would be get some advice, get some wisdom, get some answers, okay, to help with that search. Whether they come from your own wisdom, whether or you're going to an expert, it just depends on the context of the situation. In the reverse, the Hermit is someone who is overextending themselves socially. They do not make time for themselves. Someone who goes on what little information they have. They don't double check it. They don't get additional information. So again, it can be someone who's a little bit reckless or a little bit impulsive. It can be someone who thinks they know it all, okay, when the Hermit is in reverse. And it can be someone who might be afraid to be alone, okay. Sometimes it can show up as that. Again, it will depend on the context. And it could also, in the reverse, it could say we're searching in the wrong place. Then we have the Wheel of Fortune. So with the Wheel of Fortune, this is karma, fate, destiny. The Wheel of Fortune turning. The Wheel of Fortune turns for better or for worse. It is, we reap what we sow, very much. So usually it will turn for the better. Usually it talks about, okay, we've turned a corner, we've done all our hard work, we've stayed above par with everything. And now the wheel is turning in our favor. So this is positive change, this is blessed change. If it's not necessarily in our favor, it's still you reap what you sow. And it's a case of things are coming back around, okay? What goes around comes around with this energy of the Wheel of Fortune. In a reading, it can talk about job change or career change. Again, with it being a Major Arcana card, there's an element of surprise, okay, unexpected. It can be traveling, it can be moving with this energy. In terms of timing, this could be October because it's a number 10 card, for example, but again, it just depends on the other cards. It could also just mean unexpectedly, so not necessarily a particular month, so just see what the context is. It can be, meant to be energy, very much so. So it's meant to be encounters, whether that is with love life, with work, with friends, okay? That's what the energy is. It's meant to be. It talks about change that is meant to happen, and usually the guidance is try not to block the change, try to go with it, okay? It's about cycles ending and new cycles beginning, very much so. In the reverse, it can be someone who's resisting change. It can be someone who is blocking it, who is afraid of it. It can be going back into a bad cycle, going back into a vicious cycle, or not allowing something to change, not allowing something to end. With the energy here, it could also be it's coming up as a bit of a crisis of faith when we don't believe in what is meant to be. That is another way that this comes up. And of course, issues with travel and all of that, okay? Unexpected things happening that may not be exactly what we planned for, of course. So it's important to keep an open mind with it. Then we have the Justice card. When the Justice card comes up, of course, it's a card about justice, fairness, balance, equality, doing the right thing, doing the responsible thing. It can talk about legal situations, so courts, and dealing with issues with, the courts and family court and custody agreements and child support, a situation that was unfair and it was taken to court, whatever the case may be. Usually it indicates a legal win. It is, again, very much a karmic energy. So again, it means what you sow, that is what you reap. So if you are above board with everything and you're honest and you do everything the right way, then when the Justice card comes up, it means you will get what you deserve, okay? Again, that is for better or for worse, but you will get what you deserve. That's what the Justice card talks about. Sometimes it can talk about contracts and paperwork coming through, making something legal, making something official. In a relationship, it can talk about signing contracts. Usually though, for relationships, when you get the Justice card, it can indicate a divorce or a legal separation. It just depends on the other cards, okay, what the context is. In the reverse, it can talk about delays or issues with, figures of authority or legal issues. It can talk about something being unfair. It can talk about us maybe being unfair or a little bit out of balance with this energy, or not considering the consequences of our actions. We have the Hangman next. With the Hangman, what you're going to see is sacrifice, meditation, contemplation, pause, suspense. Usually when the Hangman shows up, things just slow down or stop happening altogether. Nothing's happening. It feels like everything's just still, okay? With the Hangman, in terms of advice, it can talk about take a step back and change your perspective. Turn things on their head, as it were, to get the answer, to get enlightenment, because you see he's got that halo. The Hangman can also indicate where, we're taking a step back from something. We are taking ourselves out of the game. We're taking ourselves out of the situation to reassess it, to come at it from a different angle. It is again a card of searching for answers, but it's more importantly a card of observation. So when you see the Hangman, it's an indication to say, observe rather than being involved in it, okay? See what happens. Don't just go. Take a step back, take a deep breath, allow things to happen and just observe what happens and see where it takes you, okay? In the reverse, it can talk about coming out of a time of waiting, whereas, a bride can be waiting and searching, taking ourselves out of the situation because we choose to wait, we choose to put ourselves on pause for something or someone. In the reverse, it's coming out of that time of waiting, coming out of a time of delay, coming out of a time of searching, not waiting anymore, and things are starting to move, okay, with this energy. And we may be doing too much sacrificing, or sacrificing for the wrong reasons or the wrong people. With the Death card, this is major change and transformation. The Death card is not actual death, okay? If it is, it's very extremely rare cases, and it would be accompanied by other cards where it's clear that that's what it means. But in all the readings that I've done, and I've done a few hundred at least, I think a few hundred. I'm not sure I got to thousands, but hundreds definitely. I have not seen the card to mean physical death. Okay, so just keep that in mind. Okay, don't panic. This is change. This is transformation. Something is dying in order for something to start. Okay, in order for something to begin. Whatever is ending with the Death card, what's important to know is that it was already over. It's just a matter of releasing it, okay? So whatever is ending when we get the Death card energy, know that it was already over, okay? It happened a while ago, and it's just been dead weight. So this can be moving, this can be the end of a job because you're going to start a new and better one, the end of a relationship because you're going to, find yourself in a better situation, the end of a bad habit, the end of an addiction. It is a life change, a transformation of your life, of yourself and of your life, okay? But ultimately it is for the better with the Death card, because again, we are being freed from something that was over a long time ago and it was only holding us back, okay? Now in the reverse, it can talk about someone resisting change, delaying the inevitable, holding on to something that is dead weight, consciously or subconsciously, okay, with this energy, and something where there's a hiccup, something doesn't happen. It was supposed to happen, something was supposed to end, and it doesn't. It gets prolonged, okay, with this energy, or postponed. With the Temperance card, we have balance and blending two together to create something new. We have patience. This is a card of divine timing. So when you see the Temperance card, basically it's telling you things will happen the way they are meant to, when they are meant to. So it can talk about a time of waiting. Things, maybe it doesn't look like a lot is happening. We're getting a little bit frustrated, we're getting a little bit impatient. Again, we're asked to temper ourselves. With the Temperance card, you see he's kind of moving the water from one cup to another. So it's very much about considering your options, doing that balancing act in some cases, and for others this is further circumstances or other situations. It can talk about blending two things together, so finding the common ground. It doesn't have to be one extreme or the other. It is enlightenment. So with the Temperance card, whatever it is that we are searching for, whatever it is we're contemplating, whatever it is we're waiting for, it just means it will come when it is meant to come. In the meantime, keep yourself busy doing something constructive. Don't get frustrated by that wait, okay? Use your wisdom. Let me just turn my lamp on here so you can see the cards, because it's gone dark since I started doing the video. So yeah, very much about balance, wisdom, connection to the divine, very much so. There's an angel in the card. And finding your path or considering a big decision, okay, with the Temperance card. In the reverse, it can talk about, again, being a little bit reckless, hasty, trying to force things to happen, not considering your options, not doing a very good balancing act, struggling with it, in fact, or someone who's not listening to their intuition or not listening to their divine guidance that they're receiving, okay? We have the Devil next. So with the Devil card here, with the Devil, some of the keywords you're going to get are addiction, control, power, vice, bad habit, materialism, vanity. Now the Devil shows up when something is gone too far. There's an extreme that was reached there. That's when the Devil turns up, okay? Where we've lost ourselves into a situation, okay, for better or for worse, whatever it means, but we've lost our control over ourselves because of that, okay? So it can be a card where we're in an unhealthy situation, an unhealthy relationship, a job where we are chained to our desk, a job where we feel not valued, I don't know if unvalued is a word, not appreciated, where we are given too much responsibility, not the credit, not the benefits, unfair, deeply unfair situations, dealing with the bully, dealing with the controlling person, a restrictive person, jealousy, possession, third-party situations, okay, unhealthy relationships, addictions. On a lighter note, the Devil can turn up when we're just too focused on something to the detriment of other areas in our lives. So it could be just intense passion and we don't care about other areas of our lives at the time. It is a card of being completely in the present, not thinking about consequences. It can be just a very strong focus on status to the detriment of everything else, or a strong focus on money to the detriment of everything else. It can also turn up like that. In the reverse, it can talk about freeing ourselves from that type of situation. It can talk about taking our power back if that was the issue. It can talk about balancing things out now, or not freeing ourselves from the situation. We become aware of what is happening. We know that it's not right, and yet we still stay. Okay, is the message there. Then we have the Tower. So with the Tower, this is divine intervention. Okay, that is a lightning rod from the sky to knock over that tower. So with the Tower, you will see destruction, shock, unexpected. But the thing to remember with the Tower is whatever it is that is being knocked down now, that is being destroyed or torn down, it was not very stable to begin with. Okay, so whatever is being destroyed when the Tower energy comes up, it needed to be rebuilt. It needed to be done a different way, a proper way, not at all. It had taken a wrong direction. It needed to be corrected. Okay. With the Tower, it can talk about I don't know, the sudden loss of a job, but actually it was not a good job, or it was actually a very bad job for you to be in, a very bad environment, and this is divine intervention. You're being freed from it. The breakup in a relationship because it just wasn't the right situation for you, usually after the Tower. Okay, that's why they're put one after the other. You have the Devil situation where it's the extreme, is the restriction, is, you know, feeling limited, feeling like a victim, or being a victim in a toxic situation. If we do not free ourselves, that's when the Tower happens. And this is what is being destroyed. This is what is being taken away because we did not take action. Divine intervention happens. We're being saved from ourselves sometimes, okay? So this is shock and awe. This is news that initially takes you back and you're thinking, oh my God, that changes everything. But then if you take a breath and kind of settle into it, you will see that it's actually the best thing that could happen for you, okay? So oftentimes, situations like the Tower situation, they're the situations that we think back on in our lives and we think that was the worst thing and the best thing that ever happened to me. That's a Tower situation. So again, it can talk about breakup. It is something being revealed or something being overthrown, okay? On a lighter note, it can talk about breaking down walls, breaking down barriers, breakthroughs, okay? From maybe a self-imposed prison or a limiting way of thinking. It is very much Mars type of energy, okay? So just push through destruction, but because something needs rebuilding, because something just needs to go, okay? With the energy, we are surprised. It does take us aback, but if we give it a chance, you see that it's actually the best thing that could ever happen in that situation. In a more day-to-day reading, it can talk about uprooting, so moving, or issues with the home, or issues with the foundation, electrical issues, that sort of thing, fire issues. Can come up with the Tower energy, an explosive situation, an explosive relationship. You know what? It can just be a lot of passion, okay? Or a night of passion with the energy here of the Tower. So it just depends on the context, the other cards, and the question. In the reverse, when the Tower comes up in the reverse, it can be someone who just holds on to what is being torn down. So it's a lot of angst, it's a lot of confusion, anxiety, depression over a situation that, you know, we just cannot come to terms with. We're stubbornly trying to hold on to something even though it's in pieces. So it can talk about a very heavy energy, okay, in the reverse. Then we have the Star. So following the energy of the Tower, which is destruction, the Star is healing, recovery, okay? Finding our balance once again, rebuilding. So the Star is also a wish card in the deck. Talks about getting a big, beautiful yes answer, green light, approval. It can also indicate travel, moving abroad, or just doing a lot of traveling. It is personal healing, physical healing, emotional healing, mental. The Star also comes up when we have a dream and we're being guided to follow it. This is very much follow your own star, okay? So you see this when, you know, you're starting to walk the path of your life purpose, or you're being guided to take a chance on that dream because it's good. You're supposed to do something with it. It is healing energy as well, so recovery. With the Star, in terms of love, it can be, you know, you meet the love of your life or the partner you've always been trying to manifest. It can be someone from overseas or abroad, or just a meant to be type of encounter. But with the Star, it can also talk about just going off solo, doing your own thing, doing whatever makes you happy, or focusing on yourself, okay? It is bringing beauty in your life in whichever way that applies. It is very much a card of honesty, kind of putting it all out there, you know. In the reverse, the Star card can be blocking yourself from healing, from following a dream, insecurity, fear, anxiety, rationalizing everything to the point where you don't start doing anything. So not having faith. This is very much a faith and hope type of energy. So in the reverse, it's losing hope or not trusting the universe, not trusting your guides, not trusting your intuition. Okay, losing hope in a situation. It can talk about issues with recovery, a relapse, okay, with the energy here of the star, or just getting a no, or just delays, okay, with getting what you want. Then we have the moon. So the moon is an interesting energy. It talks about our subconscious, our emotions, our feelings, but also our fears, our instincts. Okay, that's what is hidden. It does talk about what is hidden. So secrecy, a little bit similar to the High Priestess. But with the moon, it's either we're keeping our own secrets or we're keeping someone else's secrets, but there's also an element of confusion. So sometimes we get lost in our own heads, or sometimes we get lost and overwhelmed by our own emotions, so we get confused. So when the moon turns up, we are asked to get to the bottom of things, not to take things at face value, not to just trust things on, on their own, because there might be misunderstandings there, or we might not be seeing the whole picture. It's like at night, when it's only the light of the moon that lights, your garden, your street, your city, whatever the case may be. You can only see so much, you can only see so far just with the light of the moon. So it's always a cautionary energy to just make sure you're seeing things correctly, just make sure you have the facts, okay, because it can talk about confusion and feeling overwhelmed. It is also a card that talks about cycles. So with that, it could be imbalance of something that's cyclical in the body, so hormones or female issues or anything like that, but also cycles in terms of a cycle needs to come full circle in order for something new to start. So kind of like the phases of the moon, where you have a new moon completely from scratch, you set your intentions and all of that, and then it gets to the full moon where it's culmination time, it's release time, and then you have the new moon again, and so on and so forth. So again, just be careful with the moon. It can be an indication you need to search for answers. It can be an indication you need to research. But it can also be an indication that there are secrets. Be careful, tread lightly. There may be, hidden affairs, hidden intentions, hidden agendas. So it's very much a tread lightly kind of card. And very importantly, listen to your intuition. This is also talking about the night time, so your dreams. Okay, pay attention to your dreams. They might be important. They might be sending you, messages. But also it's quiet time, reflection, meditation with this energy. In the reverse, it talks about something being exposed, something being brought to the light. Whether it's a secret that's exposed, or a piece of information, or someone's intention, someone's agenda, whatever the case may be. It's someone coming out of their shell. It's seeing things completely clearly. You're in truth with of the situation, in the truth of the situation. You see things for what they are, okay? It can also be someone who is not following their own intuition and their own guidance that they may be receiving during the night or in their dreams, okay? Then we have the sun. Now the moon is very much feminine energy, and the sun is very much masculine energy. So this is me. This is leadership. This is a victory card. It is getting what you want, okay? Whatever it is that you want, only you, that's what you're getting. This is being carefree. This is fun. Can be travel. It can be just not thinking about consequences, because you don't have to. Everything's perfectly fine. Having fun, laughter, that sort of energy. It can talk about children. It can talk about ego, someone who is a little bit egotistical, a little bit, too much into their look, or someone who's too focused on what they want to see anyone else. It can be a leader, okay, type energy. With love, it just means you've got a lot of attention, you've got a lot of suitors, or someone who's just having fun, someone who's not looking for a commitment, that sort of energy, okay? With work, this is promotion, this is a light is being shown on you, or shining on you, you know what I mean? So, you're in the spotlight. So advancement, promotions, or any other kind of advancement, raises, whatever you want, you can get, okay? So important conversations, people want to work with you. This is increase in your followers, that sort of energy, okay? You're being presented to the world. This is exposed, but in a good sense, okay? So it's advertising, publicity, that sort of energy. And of course, just a carefree type of energy, whatever the situation is, okay? It's just carefree. In the reverse, it can be someone who's too much about themselves, an egotistical person, a narcissist, a controlling individual, or someone who's just too flaky, someone you cannot tie down, someone you cannot get to stick to their words or their promises, okay, with the energy of the sun here. Can also talk about some confusion or a lack of confidence, okay? We have the Judgment card next. So the Judgment card is another very kind of heavy spiritual energy here, okay? Heavy in terms of significant spiritual energy. So with the Judgment card, in a more day-to-day type of way, in a reading, the Judgment card talks about news, information that's coming in. It can talk about second chances. It can talk about clean slates and starting from scratch, freeing yourself from a situation, hearing the truth, or higher calling. It is a card that would show up when you're being guided to take the path of your life purpose. So when you're in the vicinity, as it were, of the life purpose and what you're supposed to be doing, you're starting to see the Judgment card more and more. Okay, this means pay attention, listen to your own guidance, listen to the guidance, listen to the signs. In a work reading, this can be you got the job, you get the great news, you got the job, you got the promotion, you got the go ahead. This could be great news about your health, so things are stabilizing or recovering, okay, that sort of energy, clean bill of health. You're free from whatever the situation is. With love, it can be freeing yourself from a situation completely, or it can be giving something or someone a second chance, or receiving a second chance type of energy, starting over, starting again, focusing on healing. And you know, it can be reconciling, bringing the family back together. It can be with, you know, love relationships, but with friends or family as well, just reconciling and second chances. It can talk about excellent news in terms of wonderful feedback, wonderful reviews, excellent results with assessments or tests or exams, that sort of thing. Okay, so it's great news coming in, and it is advice to follow your own wisdom, to do what you know is true. Okay, you know the truth. Now in the reverse, it can be someone who is not listening to their own wisdom. It can be someone who is blocking any sort of second chance. It can be delays with communication, delays with news, or news something has to be redone, news something has to be resubmitted, reapplied, or applied for with this energy. And it can be hearing from someone you don't want to hear from. Okay, so second chances you're not interested in, or just delays in communication. It seems like it's not going anywhere, or you're not receiving it, it's not coming in at all. And then we have the World card. Now the World card is an energy of completion, of celebration. You're on top of the world. It's the culmination, the end of a cycle that you've worked very hard for, and now you're enjoying the benefits, you're reaping the rewards, before you get ready to embark upon a new cycle and start over again from the Fool through all the Major Arcana cards, back to the World, and so on. So it's one cycle after the other. Again, you know, we've got the circle in the card, or the oval in this case, representing completion, full circle, new cycle, new beginning. Okay. In a reading, the World card can talk about celebration. It can talk about travel, moving, promotion, rewards, awards, being put in the spotlight once again. Very successful energy, very charismatic energy, receiving a lot of attention from a lot of different suitors if it's about love. The culmination of a relationship, so we can talk about marriage and starting a family, whatever the new phase is, the new level is, that's what the World can talk about. Alternatively, the World can talk about you being on your own, choosing to be on your own. That's what makes you happy, that's what fulfills you. Starting your own business, starting a different career that you believe in, that is all about what you want and what you are planning for yourself. It can be online work, so meaning, you know, you can work from anywhere in the world, international work, overseas, people, situations, jobs, that sort of energy. Excellent results, okay, with anything to do with work or study, anything you've applied for, whatever the case may be, is what the World is all about. So basically, it's to the victor go the spoils, okay, with the World card here. And that is the last card in the Major Arcana, and that's our Major Arcana. So I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope that you can find it useful. Remember, these are just some keywords, some kind of guidance in terms of how they may turn up in a reading, for work, for love, for advice. In the reverse, upright. The world card in the reverse is not, it's not bad. There are some cards in the reverse that are not too bad, like the world card that still means triumph, success, maybe a little bit less or a little bit delayed. The sun card, it still means happiness and carefree and joy. There may be a little bit of a hiccup there, but nothing you can't overcome, and so on and so forth. But again, I hope that you find the video useful. Let me know, comment down below, okay? Let me know what you think. Let me know if you find this useful. If you like to add a few meanings to the cards, or keywords, whatever you feel like is important and should be mentioned. This is just it's like just to get you started. It's not exhaustive, okay? It's not everything about the cards. This is just to get you started, give you an indication of kind of which way to go and how to work with the cards. And as I say, the more you work with the cards, the more you'll develop your own meanings, or kind of different ways of understanding the keywords and the meanings of the cards, and different ways they apply in terms of circumstance and context, and all of that good stuff. But yeah, let me know what you think. I really hope you enjoyed the video. I'm going to link the blog post in the description box below if you want to check that out as well. And other than that, thank you for following, thank you for watching, thank you for subscribing, for commenting, for liking, sharing. All your wonderful support is truly appreciated. And stay tuned for more videos. Okay, we're going to go through the Minor Arcana very, very soon. Okay, so thank you again. Enjoy working with your cards, getting to know them and getting to know each other. And I'll talk to you again very soon. Bye for now.